So that both him and the children and the wife are away.
Pé ìyẹn ni pé òun àtàwọn ọmọ àtaya rẹ̀ a ò rí wọn mọ́. Ṣé èyí ṣe é sọ?
No church, no, this church cannot grow.
Nípa bẹ́ẹ̀ ìjọ yìí kò lè padà wá láàyè débi pé yóò tiẹ̀ wá dàgbà.
You know why?
Ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ èrèdí rẹ̀?
That man changed his wife.
Nítorí pé ọkùnrin náà ti pààrọ̀ ìyàwó rẹ̀.
The church was full.
Ìjọ náà kún.
People were coming from everywhere.
Àwọn èèyàn ń wá láti bí gbogbo.
But he has a quarrel with the wife and drove the wife away and pick another person from the church.
Ó wá rí i pé ìgbólóhùn aṣọ ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin àti ìyàwó rẹ̀ wá rí i pé aṣọ obìnrin ilé ò gbàgbà mú mọ́. Ó mú ẹlòmíràn nínú ìjọ ọmọ ìjọ mi náà kúkú ní èmi mo ni wọ́n ó fi ṣaya.
And the district superintendent go to him.
Nígbà tí alábòjútó agbègbè wa lọ bá.
And told him what you have done is wrong.
Nígbà tó ṣe yí bàbá kò dáa.
He said, what are you talking about?
Ó ní kí ni tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń sọ.
Is it not our money they are using to pay you?
Ó ní ṣé kì í ṣe owó wa ni wọ́n fi ń san owó oṣù rẹ.
All I need to do, don't come here again.
Nípa bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún ọ ni wípé kó ní kálukú má yé rẹ̀ wọ́n wà bímọ o.
He told the district superintendent, don't come here again.
Ó lọ sọ fún alábòjútó agbègbè rẹ̀ pé má wà bímọ àfẹ́rẹ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀ bí.
And the church board, the elders, they were saying, yes, our Oga has spoken.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn alàgbà ìjọ àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ ìjọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀gá wa ti sọ̀rọ̀.
The DS go to the secretariat and report the pastor.
Alábòjútó agbègbè wa lọ sí olú ìjọ láti lọ fẹjọ́ rẹ̀ sùn.
And the general secretary wrote a letter of suspension to that man.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni akọ̀wé àgbà wa kọ ìwé ìdánidúró fún ọkùnrin náà.
And when they took the letter there,
nígbà tán mú ìwé náà lọ.
He almost beat the district superintendent.
Ó fẹ́ẹ́ lè na alábòjútó agbègbè rẹ̀.
And the district superintendent left.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni alábòjútó àgbàgbà lọ ó kú ńbẹ̀.
Nínú ìwé àwọn àgbà.
In the book of Elders.
Orí karùn-ún ẹsẹ̀ kẹtàlá.
Verse 5, chapter 5, verse 13.
Ó ní kì í ṣọjọ́ tí ẹ̀gún bá gùnyàn lẹ́sẹ̀ ní dègbò.
That the day that thorn hook you in the leg, that is not the day it become a sore.
Wọ́n bá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
They went, they keep on going like that.
When it was 6 months.
Oṣù mẹ́fà lẹ́yìn rẹ̀.
The people begin to withdraw one by one.
Àwọn èèyàn á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fàsẹ́yìn ní kọ̀ọ̀kan.
By the time it was a year.
Nígbà tí ó fi tó ọdún kan oṣù méjìlá.
The church was getting desolated.
Ìjọ náà ti ń di ahoro díẹ̀díẹ̀.
And at the time it was 2 years.
Nígbà tí ó fi tó ọdún méjì sí.
It remained that pastor and the wife and the children.
Ó wá kù olùṣọ́ àgùntàn tí a ń sọ yìí àti ìyàwó rẹ̀ tó gbábà mú àti àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀.
No wonder the Bible says.
Èrèdí ni ẹtí bẹ́ẹ̀ lè fi wí pé.
A man that is rebuked and he hardened his neck, he said he shall suddenly be destroyed.
Wípé ẹni tí a bá wí tó wà nù rẹ̀ kì yóò ṣe kí ni o yóò parun lójijì.
Once you rebuke, once you reject discipline, you are not ready to maintain discipline, you are not ready to follow order, and you think you can live at the top there. No, you will soon come down.
Tí wọ́n bá jẹ́ ẹni tí ó kórìíra ìbáwí tó ò fẹ́ kẹ́ni kó bá ọ wí tí wọ́n nìkan fẹ́ dá dúró ò fẹ́ kí ẹlòmíì kó tiẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ sí ọ. Àbámọ̀ ń bọ̀ láìpẹ́.
As at the time we go there.
Nígbà tí àwa débẹ̀.
When there was no money to maintain the church.
Nígbà tí ò sí owó láti máa tọ́jú ìjọ.
Baba himself has no money to eat.
Bàbá fúnra ara ẹ̀ gan ò tiẹ̀ rówó tọ́jú ẹnu ara rẹ̀.
He was older than his age.
Ó ti dàgbà ju ọjọ́ orí rẹ̀ lọ.
He cannot ask to be transferred now.
Nígbà náà kò sí ẹni tí a tó lè gbé.
I want to appeal to you.
Nítorí náà mo fẹ́ rọ̀ yín.
If God has bring people to serve with you in your church.
Tí Ọlọ́run bá kó àwọn ènìyàn tó fi dá ọ lọ́lá láti máa bá ọ wọlé wọ̀dé nínú ìjọ rẹ.
You are not the one who born them.
O gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé ìwọ kọ́ ló bí wọn o.
You are not the one who saved them.
Ìwọ kọ́ ló gbà wọ́n là.
It is God that brought them to you.
Ọlọ́run fún ara rẹ̀ ló kó wọn wá sọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀.
It is God that saved them.
Ọlọ́run ló gbà wọ́n là.
If you don't make use of them in a godly way.
Tí ìwọ kò bá lò wọ́n ní ọ̀nà tó bá ti Ọlọ́run mu.
They will leave you.
Wọ́n á fi ọ́ lẹ̀ o.
Ṣé o pé tá a bá fẹ́ dùnnú ara wa, tá a bá fẹ́ múnú ara wa dùn, a ní CAC tí gbogbo wa ni. Kó máa gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́ torí pé kò sí ibòmíràn tí a lè lọ. Irọ́ ló pa. Ibòmí wà.
You know why we want to console ourselves?
Ṣùgbọ́n ìwà ní Friday tó kọjá.
And he asked me, why are you not here on Friday?
Mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
I say yes.
Mo ní máa bọ̀.
He said come.
Lọ sí kíláàsì yẹn.
Oh yeah, go to that class.
Èmi rò pé wọ́n ní kí n lọ jòkó ni.
I thought I was asked to go and sit down.
lọ́ba ní nígbà débẹ̀ ló bá ní ìwọ ló kọ́ wọn.
When I sat down, I said, you are going to teach them.
ó wá kó mo ṣe máa sọ fún pé mi ò kọ́yàn rí.
Then it now remains for me to say, I've never taught before.
ilé Ọlọ́run mo wà yìí o.
This is the house of God.
ọjọ́ yẹn mo dìde dúró níwájú wọn.
That day I stood before the people.
mo sì ti jújù kan mi lọ.
And I was so timid.
táwọn èèyàn bá ti pé márùn-ún báyìí tẹ ní kí ìdìde sọ̀rọ̀ láàrin wọn wàhálà lẹ wá.
Because for me to speak within 5 people is a trouble for me.
ẹ jẹ́ mọ̀ pé mo gbé ìwé Sunday school àyè.
Do you know that I took my Sunday school manual that way?
mo Sunday school yẹn láàrin 8 minutes.
Within 8 minutes,
mo ti ka gbogbo ẹ̀ tán.
I finished reading the Sunday school.
ó wá ku ní tí mo fẹ́ sọ.
It now remained what for me to explain.
mo wá retí kó lágbo wọn lágbo.
I was expecting the bell to be rang that it's time off. The bell never rang.
lóògùn bá bò mí.
And I was sweating
níwájú Ọlọ́run.
before God and man.
mo gbé Sunday school ẹ̀ mo ní mo ń bọ̀ mo fẹ́ lọ tọ̀.
I left the Sunday school manual. I said, excuse me, I want to go and use
mo
myself.
débi tí mo fẹ́ tọ̀ ìtọ̀ wá.
I want to use myself. The urine refused to come.
ojú mi pòyì.
I was having, my eyes was turning
mo
around.
dára mi lẹ́bi pé kí mo wá dé ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yìí náà.
Then I regret what took me to the
kí ló
church.
ṣe mú mi tètè dé.
Why did I go early that day?
àwọn tó ní kí n kọ́ gan-an.
Those that I was to teach,
àwọn náà mo fura pé wọ́n máa sọ pé ibo ni wọ́n ti rí eléyìí.
I suspected they themselves will be thinking, where did they get this man?
kí ige ní kúkúrú bí mo ṣe pòyì tí wákàtí kan fi parí nìyẹn torí mi ò rí kankan wí mọ́.
To summarize everything,
tí mo ti kọ́ tán màá tún repeat ẹ̀.
I was just repeating myself.
nígbà tá a parí.
After the whole thing.
mo dúpẹ́ pé wákàtí kan ti pé.
Then I thank God that 1 hour was over.
nígbà tá a dénú sáfì gbogbo tó ń ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì lọ́jọ́ náà kò wọ etí.
That day after the Sunday school, in the main service, every other thing, I was not there. I was just
ìtìjú tí
sitting
mo
down.
gbà lọ́jọ́ yẹn.
It was so shameful
títí mo fi délé.
till I got home.
bí mo ṣe ń lọ.
As I was going,
mo lọ ra ìwé kan ìgbà yẹn ìwé yẹn ṣẹ̀ jáde tó ń pè ní higher education.
I went to buy a book called Higher Education.
bí mo ṣe délé nìyẹn.
When I get to the
mo
house,
bẹ̀ sí wo Sunday school.
I begin to look at my Sunday
àyè
school.
mọ̀ wọ́n tó lè sọ pé kí kọ́yàn ní
In
next.
case I'm asked to teach again,
ni mo wò ó mo kà á mo kó tiẹ̀ mo kọ́ sílẹ̀ mo ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀.
I never get discouraged to run away from church. I begin to jot what I could say the next time.
ìgbà tó máa bi di Sunday tó ń bọ̀.
By this following Sunday,
tí wọ́n tún ní kí n lọ sí class.
I was still asked to go to the
mo
class.
sọ fún ìwé pé
I want to tell
láti
you
ọjọ́ yẹn
that
títí dòní.
since that day till today,
mi ì kọ outline kí n parí ẹ̀.
no matter whatever outline I prepare, I don't exhaust it.
kí ló dé tó fi rí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Why?
ẹni tó tì mí sí.
The person that pushed me into it,
kò mọ̀ pé mi ò lè ṣe é.
he never knew I could not do it.
ṣùgbọ́n gbà tèmi náà wá bá ìtìjú pàdé.
But when I found myself in the midst of the ocean
mo
with
pinnu pé màá
shame,
ṣe é.
I now determined that we do.
mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run.
Therefore, I want to beg all you ministers of God.
train your followers.
Ẹ kọ́ àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé yín.
train them to do what they don't know they can do.
Ẹ kọ́ wọn láti ṣe táwọn lérò wípé àwọn kò lè ṣe.
commit work to their hands.
Ẹ fún wọn ní iṣẹ́ ṣe.
sit down supervise them.
Wá jókòó kí o máa ṣe àbójútó wọn.
call them privately when they make mistake.
Nígbà tán bá ṣàṣìṣe pè wọ́n sí kọ̀rọ̀.
correct them in the corner.
Kí o sì tọ́ wọn sọ́nà níkọ̀kọ̀.
it is then you are building a team.
Nígbà náà ni ìwọ yóò máa rí pé òun kó àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ jọ tí wọ́n á jọ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀.
ọmọ kan bá ti jẹ́ pé onìkan ló mọ dùrú tẹ̀ ń ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yóò máa ṣàkọni o.
If you have only one organist in the church, you begin to make jest of you and begin to brag.
olóòbá ló fi jẹ́ pé tó ọ̀bá rówó wọn tẹ́ dùrù mọ́.
And that is why we can see those that play instrument today, except you give them money, they are not ready.
mi ò blame wọn o.
I'm not blaming them
ṣùgbọ́n iṣẹ́ wọn ni wọ́n ń gbà.
because
iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run ni wọ́n wá sìn.
they only get themselves employed. They have not come to worship God.
torí pé tí ò bá sí dùrù yẹn wọn ò ní wá bẹ̀.
Because if that organ is not there, they might not come.
sálárì yẹn ni wọ́n fọkàn sí.
They have come for their salary.
gbogbo ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n bá ti fún lówó ẹ̀ ní lùlù ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì.
All of you that except you are paid, you don't play in the church.
Iṣẹ́ oṣù lẹ wá ṣe o.
You have just come for monthly job.
Ẹ mọ Ọlọ́run o.
You have not come to know God.
Tẹ́ ẹ bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ ń tẹ̀dùn tí church ní àánú ọkùnrin yìí ṣe dáadáa ẹ̀dí à encourage ọ̀tọ̀ ni o.
If you are so committed and the church say, let us encourage him, and they give you a token, that is different.
But èló lẹ́sàn.
But how much will you pay?
Àyè báyìí no, mo ti rí
And you begin to bargain.
redeem ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn iye tí wọ́n fẹ́ fún mi.
And you now begin to point to that redeemed church, this is how much they want to pay me.
Ó dẹ̀ torí owó yẹn fílẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ lọ síbẹ̀.
And because of that money, he left your church to that other side.
Alágbàṣe ni ọ́.
That person is just a worker.
O wá ṣiṣẹ́ o wá jọ́sìn
You
fọlọ́run.
have not come to worship God.
Calm down.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú.
A team that break up every few years is never going to grow very large.
Àwọn tó kóra wọn jọ pọ̀ tán sì ń túká ní ìgbà díẹ̀ síra wọn ò lè dàgbà.
Share the burden of the ministry with others and you will be great. You will be a greater and more productive person.
Tí wọ́n bá fi àfojúsùn tàbí ìran ìkóra ìjọ náà fún àwọn ènìyàn, á mú yín dàgbà, ẹ ó sì máa ní tẹ̀síwájú.
Listen to me.
Ẹ fetí sí mi.
When you are transferred from a church,
Tá a bá gbé ọ kúrò nínú ìjọ kan,
that church should never forget you.
ìjọ náà ò yẹ kó gbàgbé rẹ fún rere.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ tí mò ń sọ?
Because of what you have impacted into their life.
Nítorí àwọn tí o ti gbìn sínú ayé wọn.
Do you know if you are a minister with impact,
Tí wọ́n bá jẹ́ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tó ní ipá,
when the authority transfer you,
nígbà tí àwọn aláṣẹ bá gbé ọ,
the church member will run to the authority
àwọn ọmọ ìjọ wọn á sá lọ síbàdàn.
and they begin to plead and say, please leave it for us.
Wọ́n á ní ẹ dákun ẹ fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ fún wa.
But they say the day they announce your transfer,
Ṣùgbọ́n bóyá ìjọ tó wá sọ pé a ti gbé ọ.
somebody stand up and say, praise the Lord.
Ẹnìkan wá dé ní ẹ kí hallelujah méje o.
Kí ló ń sọ fún ọ?
What does that tell you?
Ó ń dúpẹ́ pé ó ní ìyọnu yìí.
Say this trouble man,
Olóògùnkù yìí, ó ní
this
kékeré.
this bad person,
At last,
we shall be relieved at last.
wọ́n ti gbé.
It has been taken.
Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wọ́n transfer tí wọn ò ní ìgboyà mọ́ láti lọ sí church ibi tí wọ́n ti gbé wọn láti sọ pé òun fẹ́ lọ kí wọ́n bẹ̀.